So once again, here's where we left off from the previous video. We are on a stage, and we have set the physics, we have built the scene, and now we're actually going to try to test it and see if everything works the way it's supposed to. So we click the little blue arrow for test, and it's going to save, and it's going to finalize and encode and all of that stuff. And it'll launch a little Flash application. There we go, and we can actually give it a try. So, we have no music, but left and right works. Falling off the map works. It reloaded, so that's the die in a pit. How do we jump? Is it spacebar? Enter. A, S, Z. Oh, it's, okay, Z. Z is jump. A little loud. That's better. And can we jump? Ooh, nope, we cannot jump on them, so there's an issue with that. Can we jump from... Good, we can jump from pedestal to pedestal. If we fall down the hole... Ooh, we get kind of stuck on... That's interesting. Anyway, that's okay. So, you might want slightly bigger gaps than these. Can I get back up? Oh, kids can't really get back up. But that's interesting. So, no big issues overall, except for we can't jump on Pronger, so let's see what happens. So I'm going to assume that there's an issue with one of my settings. Well, I mean, obviously there is. So if we go to Mambo, we have behaviors, we have stomp on enemies, action 1 okay, sample group actors okay, the jump key is action 1, okay, so those two match. So now do actors match. So if we open Pronger, and we go to behaviors, here's stomp, that looks fine. If we go to properties, he is an actor, so why isn't it working? Originally in the Crash Course, this was actually supposed to be set to enemies, but we don't have an enemies option, we had actors. So maybe... Oh, wait a minute, that's interesting. That seems like that's the issue to me. There are enemies on here, but we don't have an enemies option. So we can either create a new group for enemies, which I don't feel like doing, or we can just tell that it collides with actors, and we can tell actors that it collides with players, which it did automatically when we clicked on one from the other. And that should be good. Let's test it and see if my hypothesis is correct. Good. Good, and good. And we can even push them. Or we get kind of stuck on them, but that's okay. So, there you go. You have a very simple game. Now, that's not super exciting right now, so those are other things that you can do too. I spent a bit of time with this, and let's show you what you can make if you're willing to spend the time. This was after a couple hours of playing around with things. Now, I'm not saying that this should take a whole bunch of hours. If you have lots of experience with it, obviously you can do it pretty fast. But I was figuring it out as I was going and learning in the process before creating the videos. So I did actually do this a little while ago. The graphics I created in, well, the title graphics I created in Photoshop, and then I exported the graphics from the Crash Course and desaturated them a bit to make it look a little more retro, kind of remind me of the classic Game Boy type look. So click to start. On the screen you can actually already control Mambo, and I have him set to jump pretty high actually. So I made a little title screen, and I even made it so you can control Mambo on the title screen. It's actually quite a bit simpler than you might think. So click to start. That's also pretty simple. I made some little instructions. So level 1.1, start at the square, into the semicircle. And yeah, prongers are hopping. I gave them the ability to hop. And I gave them the ability to move around a little bit. And I made a point system, so killing a pronger gives you a point, which you can see in the top left. And when you get to the little semicircle, it takes you to the next level, obviously. So you can go for the easy way, or you can go for the points and try to get more points, or you can try to do both, depending on how you want to do things. Oh, well, game over. I didn't quite get to the last level. But you get the idea. I was close to the last level. On the game over screen, I've also made it so you can move around. And the text I also made in Photoshop. They're PNG files, so they have transparency, and Stencyl supports that, so that's cool. Or was it a GIF? Maybe it was a GIF. I don't remember if it supports transparency. Anyways, I made this a little while ago. It was a few months back, so I don't remember all the specifics exactly, but it was fun and it wasn't that hard.